You've been asking the universe for what you want, hoping it will say yes, haven't you? Perhaps you've been praying, visualizing, and manifesting with little more than wishful thinking, waiting for divine intelligence to decide whether you're worthy of your desires. Maybe you've been frustrated by the seeming randomness of what gets answered and what gets ignored, wondering why some people seem to have the universe on speed dial while your requests echo into silence. What if I told you that you don't have to beg the universe for anything? What if there's an ancient spiritual law that compels divine intelligence to respond to your demands with absolute certainty? What if you could activate a principle so powerful that the universe has no choice but to say yes to your desires? The spiritual law I'm about to reveal has been hidden in plain sight for centuries, demonstrated by every great achiever throughout history, yet misunderstood by the masses who continue to plead with the universe instead of commanding it. This law operates with mathematical precision, responding to specific spiritual mechanics that, when properly applied, make manifestation inevitable rather than hopeful. You were never meant to be a beggar at the door of divine intelligence. You were designed to be a co-creator with infinite power, someone who understands how to activate spiritual laws with the same confidence that you flip a light switch expecting illumination. The universe operates according to immutable principles, and when you align with these principles correctly, it must respond affirmatively to your declarations. The ancient spiritual law that forces the universe to say yes is the law of absolute faith, combined with unwavering expectation. When these two forces unite in your consciousness, they create an irresistible spiritual momentum that compels divine intelligence to manifest your desires into physical reality. Most people approach manifestation from a place of hope rather than knowing. They ask the universe to please grant their wishes, hedging their requests with uncertainty and doubt. But the universe responds to spiritual law, not spiritual begging. When you understand how to activate divine principles correctly, you move from hoping to knowing, from requesting to commanding, from waiting to receiving. Understanding that the universe operates like a cosmic law court transforms your entire approach to manifestation. In a court of law, when proper legal procedures are followed and correct evidence is presented, the judge must rule in favor of the case. Similarly, when proper spiritual procedures are followed and correct spiritual evidence is presented, the universe must rule in favor of your manifestation. The spiritual evidence that compels the universe to say yes includes absolute faith, unwavering expectation, and persistent declaration. When these three elements are present simultaneously, they create a spiritual case so compelling that divine intelligence has no choice but to manifest your desire into reality. You may have experienced moments when you knew with absolute certainty that something would happen, and it did. These experiences weren't lucky coincidences, they were demonstrations of this spiritual law in action. When your faith reaches the level of absolute knowing, the universe must comply with your expectation. The biblical account of Daniel demonstrates this principle with remarkable clarity. When King Darius was pressured into signing a decree that anyone who prayed to any god except the king would be thrown into the lion's den, Daniel faced a choice that would test his absolute faith. Rather than hiding his prayers or compromising his spiritual practice, Daniel opened his windows toward Jerusalem and prayed 3 times a day, just as he had always done. His unwavering expectation that divine intelligence would protect him never wavered, even as he was thrown into the den of hungry lions. That night, an angel shut the mouths of the lions, and Daniel emerged without a scratch. The next morning, when King Darius found Daniel unharmed, he was so amazed that he issued a new decree commanding everyone in his kingdom to reverence Daniel's divine intelligence. Daniel's absolute faith and unwavering expectation didn't just save his life, they transformed an entire kingdom's relationship with the divine. His spiritual certainty forced the universe to demonstrate its power in a way that changed history itself. Another powerful aspect of this spiritual law is learning to make declarations rather than requests. When you declare your desires to the universe, you're operating from the assumption that what you want is already yours in the spiritual realm and simply needs to manifest in the physical realm. This assumption creates the spiritual conditions necessary for rapid manifestation. The difference between requesting and declaring is the difference between begging and commanding. When you request something from the universe, you're implying that you're separate from divine intelligence and hoping it will grant your wish. When you declare something to the universe, you're affirming your unity with infinite intelligence and commanding spiritual law to manifest your desire. When you understand this fundamental shift in consciousness, you must speak it into being. Declare with authority, "My word carries divine power and creates instant manifestation." This declaration aligns your speech with spiritual law and activates the ancient principle that forces the universe to respond to your commands. Perhaps you've noticed that your most successful manifestations occurred when you felt absolutely certain they would happen. This certainty created the spiritual state of unwavering expectation that activated the law and forced the universe to respond positively. When doubt creeps in, it weakens the spiritual case you're presenting to divine intelligence. If these principles are awakening something powerful within your consciousness, I want you to comment below and declare, "I am divinely guided and abundantly blessed." When you write these words, you're not just making a statement, you're activating the ancient spiritual law in your life. Your written declaration becomes a formal announcement to divine intelligence that you understand your power as a co-creator and you expect immediate manifestation. The act of writing this statement creates a spiritual contract between you and the universe, establishing your unwavering expectation and compelling divine forces to respond accordingly. Learning to cultivate absolute faith requires understanding that faith is not hope. Faith is knowing. Hope acknowledges the possibility of failure, while faith acknowledges only the certainty of success. When you hope for something, you're entertaining doubt about whether it will happen. When you have faith in something, you know it will happen because you understand the spiritual laws that govern manifestation. This absolute faith develops through repeated experience with spiritual law. Every time you apply these principles and receive positive results, your faith grows stronger. Every manifestation becomes evidence that builds your confidence in the process. Eventually, you reach a point where you know these laws work as reliably as gravity or electricity. The universe responds to your level of spiritual certainty. When you're absolutely certain that your desire will manifest, you emit a frequency that compels divine intelligence to arrange circumstances, people, and opportunities to bring your desire into reality. When you're uncertain or doubtful, you emit a frequency that creates delay, confusion, and mixed results. This spiritual frequency of absolute certainty must be activated through conscious declaration. Speak these words with unwavering conviction. "My desires manifest in perfect ways under grace." When you declare this truth, you align your energy with the frequency of inevitable success. Unwavering expectation means maintaining your certainty regardless of external circumstances or temporary appearances. Even when physical evidence suggests that your desire might not manifest, unwavering expectation continues to know that it will. This steadfast spiritual stance creates the conditions necessary for breakthrough. Alexander Graham Bell exemplifies this spiritual law through his unwavering faith in voice transmission over wires. When Bell declared he would send human speech across telegraph lines, the scientific community dismissed him as delusional. Telegraph was for coded messages, not conversation. Everyone knew this was impossible. Yet Bell maintained absolute faith in his vision, working tirelessly in his Boston laboratory despite repeated failures and dwindling funds. His spiritual certainty never wavered, even when his own assistant questioned the feasibility of the project. On March 10, 1876, when Bell accidentally spilled battery acid and called out, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you," his unwavering expectation finally forced the universe to say yes. Watson heard those words clearly through the device in another room, the first successful telephone call in history. Bell's absolute faith didn't just create the telephone, it revolutionized human communication forever, proving that spiritual certainty can manifest seemingly impossible realities. You may also notice that the universe often tests your faith and expectation before manifesting your desires. These tests appear as delays, obstacles, or temporary setbacks that challenge your certainty. The purpose of these tests is to strengthen your spiritual conviction and ensure that your faith is absolutely unshakable before granting your request. During these testing periods, maintaining unwavering expectation becomes crucial. The universe is observing whether you'll maintain your certainty when circumstances suggest otherwise. Those who pass these tests by maintaining absolute faith, regardless of appearances, receive their manifestations. Those who fail by allowing doubt to weaken their expectation must wait until their faith becomes strong enough to pass the test. Another way to force the universe to say yes is through persistent declaration. This means continuing to declare your desires until they manifest, regardless of how long it takes or what obstacles appear. Persistent declaration demonstrates to divine intelligence that your faith is unshakable and your expectation is unwavering. The universe operates on divine timing, which means your desires will manifest at the perfect moment for maximum benefit. Persistent declaration ensures that you maintain the proper spiritual stance throughout the entire manifestation process. It keeps your faith active and your expectations strong until physical reality aligns with spiritual reality. Perhaps the most powerful understanding is recognizing that you already have everything you desire in the spiritual realm. Your job is simply to bring it from the invisible realm into the visible realm through proper application of spiritual law. When you understand that your desires already exist spiritually, declaring them becomes natural and expectation becomes automatic. This spiritual perspective eliminates the need for begging, pleading, or hoping. You don't beg for something you already own. You don't plead for something that's already yours. You don't hope for something that's already certain. You simply declare what is true spiritually and expect it to manifest physically. The ancient spiritual law also requires that your desires align with divine purpose. The universe will say yes to any desire that serves your highest good and contributes to the greater good of all. Selfish desires that would harm others or limit your spiritual growth may be delayed or redirected towards something better. This alignment with divine purpose often means that the universe says yes to your desires in ways that exceed your original expectations. When you declare something in faith and maintain unwavering expectation, divine intelligence may manifest something even better than what you requested because it can see the bigger picture of your life purpose. Learning to recognize when the universe is saying yes requires spiritual sensitivity and patience. Sometimes the universe says yes immediately, and manifestation occurs rapidly. Other times, the universe says yes, but begins orchestrating circumstances that will unfold over time. In both cases, maintaining absolute faith and unwavering expectation ensures that you receive your manifestation. You may have noticed that doubt is the only thing that can stop this spiritual law from working. When you doubt your desires, question your worthiness, or waver in your expectation, you weaken the spiritual case you're presenting to the universe. Doubt creates spiritual static that interferes with clear manifestation. Overcoming doubt requires understanding that your desires come from divine intelligence itself. The universe wouldn't give you a desire for something it didn't intend for you to have. Your desires are divine assignments, spiritual assignments, cosmic invitations to expand into greater expressions of your divine nature. When you understand that your desires are divinely inspired, maintaining faith becomes easier. You're not forcing the universe to give you something foreign to its will. You're aligning with something that divine intelligence wants for you even more than you want it for yourself. The spiritual law that forces the universe to say yes also includes the element of gratitude. When you express genuine gratitude for your desires before they manifest physically, you demonstrate absolute faith that they're already yours spiritually. This gratitude amplifies the power of your declarations and accelerates manifestation. Gratitude also elevates your spiritual frequency to match the frequency of your desires. When you're grateful for something, you emit the same energy as when you actually possess it. This energetic alignment creates the conditions necessary for rapid manifestation. Another essential understanding is that this spiritual law works for everyone, regardless of their background, education, or current circumstances. The universe doesn't play favorites. It responds to proper application of spiritual principles with mathematical precision. When anyone applies absolute faith and unwavering expectation correctly, they will receive positive results. This universal accessibility of spiritual law means that your current limitations have no power over your future manifestations. Whether you're rich or poor, educated or uneducated, young or old, the same spiritual principles will work for you when applied correctly. The universe judges only the quality of your faith and the strength of your expectation. Understanding that spiritual law operates beyond physical circumstances gives you tremendous power over your destiny. No matter what your current situation looks like, you can use absolute faith and unwavering expectation to command the universe to manifest something better. Your spiritual power transcends any physical limitation. Perhaps you've been waiting for external conditions to improve before expecting your desires to manifest. But spiritual law works in reverse. You use your spiritual power to change external conditions, not the other way around. When you apply absolute faith and unwavering expectation, you force the universe to rearrange physical circumstances to match your spiritual declarations. This understanding liberates you from the belief that you're at the mercy of external circumstances. You become the master of your destiny, someone who understands how to use spiritual law to create desired outcomes regardless of starting conditions. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become a creator of circumstances. The ancient spiritual law also requires that you act on the opportunities the universe provides in response to your declarations. Faith without corresponding action is incomplete. When you declare something with absolute faith and maintain unwavering expectation, the universe will provide opportunities for manifestation, but you must take action on those opportunities. This divine partnership between spiritual declaration and physical action creates the perfect conditions for manifestation. Your declarations activate spiritual law, and your actions provide the physical channel through which spiritual reality becomes physical reality. Both elements are essential for complete manifestation. You may have experienced times when you felt strongly guided to take certain actions that led to unexpected opportunities or breakthrough moments. These experiences were the universe responding to your faith and expectation by providing practical pathways for manifestation. When you follow these divine promptings, you accelerate the manifestation process. Learning to distinguish between divine guidance and random impulses requires developing spiritual sensitivity through practice. The more you work with this spiritual law, the more clearly you'll recognize when the universe is providing opportunities for manifestation. Divine guidance usually feels peaceful, exciting, and aligned with your highest good. The spiritual law that forces the universe to say yes operates most powerfully when you align your declarations with divine timing. While you can declare your desires at any time, there are certain moments when spiritual law is more receptive to manifestation commands. These moments include times of spiritual elevation, emotional clarity, and energetic alignment. Divine timing also means that some manifestations require preparation time to ensure that you're ready to handle what you're requesting. The universe may delay manifestation while arranging circumstances to support your success or while developing your capacity to manage your desires responsibly. Understanding divine timing prevents frustration during apparent delays and maintains your faith during preparation periods. When you trust that the universe is working on your behalf, even when you can't see progress, you maintain the unwavering expectation necessary for eventual manifestation. You are not imagining the power of this ancient spiritual law. You are not being unrealistic about your ability to command the universe. You are being prepared, positioned, and propelled toward a level of spiritual mastery that will revolutionize your relationship with manifestation and transformation. But understanding this law without applying it changes nothing. Divine intelligence has revealed the secret of forcing the universe to say yes, but you must choose to activate this power through absolute faith, unwavering expectation, and persistent declaration. You must move from hoping to knowing, from requesting to commanding, from waiting to receiving. The universe is waiting for you to step into your power as a co-creator with infinite intelligence. What I've shared with you today is more than information. It's the very key to unlocking supernatural manifestation in your life. These aren't just principles, they're the ancient spiritual laws that have transformed ordinary people into extraordinary achievers throughout history. You now possess the knowledge that most people spend lifetimes searching for. You hold the secret that turns struggle into ease, lack into abundance, and dreams into reality. This is your moment to activate the most powerful spiritual law ever revealed. Declare with absolute faith and unwavering expectation. I am one with infinite intelligence and walk in harmony with divine will. My faith is unwavering, and my path is made straight before me. I speak the word, and it is done. Divine love goes before me, making all ways clear and perfect. I claim my good under grace in perfect ways, and give thanks that it is so. All that is mine by divine right now comes to me in avalanches of abundance under grace.